Next up, we got the one thing that we've been waiting all year long for, just like we do every single year.
If they were emphasizing about the environment so much, they could have talked about it in every segment. The watch, this is what we've done with the bands. For the phones, we're taking back the cables. The boxes can come back.
You ever see those kids and like those really, really smart kids just calculating numbers? Yeah. That's what it's gonna look like. That's what it's gonna look like. That natural titanium, man. That natural. Just look at that blue though. That natural titanium. I love it. With this new double tap gesture feature, how many times are you hitting that snooze button in the morning before you actually wake up?
So the action button is actually quite a good addition. As you use the phone, you do your day-to-day stuff. Sometimes you think in the back of your head, I wish I just could do this really quickly.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Welcome to another edition of the Flipaforum podcast. Today marks our 11th episode, and we are your hosts. I go by the name of Michael.
I'm Omar.
And I'm Samir.
And today we got some exciting news. Obviously, we got to talk about the new iPhone 15 lineup, and the brand new Apple Watches just recently came out. So we got the Series 9, and we got the Apple Watch number 2. Now, we're going to start the conversation with the Apple Watches, and you guys can stick along and wait till the iPhone 15 news comes up. But I'd like to begin with the Apple Watch number 2, Apple Watch Ultra. I'm kind of disappointed here a little bit because I was expecting a black color to come out, or a space black, or a space gray, or something along that nature. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but we did get some cool features along with it. So I'd like to begin with the visual aspect of it. Obviously, they look pretty much identical. Right. Series 9, if we're going to jump into the new colors, I think they only released a new color with the pink. I think that's the only new color. Yeah. Apple Watch Ultra visually and aesthetically looks identical, but there's some nice cool features there. So let's begin with the new features. Last week we were watching the live event all together, right? And there was one thing that really stood out to you that I didn't really notice at first, but it can be really, really crucial when it comes to the Apple Watches. The nit count on the screen is going to be the brightest ever put on any Apple product before. So we got the Apple Watch Series 9 starting at 2,000 nits, and then the Apple Watch Ultra 2 starting at 3,000 nits, which is incredible. I'd like to really see how this works outside, considering, whenever it's really sunny outside, it's kind of hard to see that screen. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see how that quality picks up during that time frame. Omar, what do you think?
Yeah, no, the moment I saw 3,000 nits on a watch, I think this is probably the first device out there, period, that has 3,000 nits on it. Yeah. It's probably going to be really, really easy to use it. You're not going to think twice. There's no squinting out in the sun. Very, very, I think, enjoyable experience.
Absolutely.
For anyone who's used maybe even 2,000 nits, you know that it's a pretty good screen to work with.
What kind of Apple products currently have 2,000 nits? Do we have anything? Based on your knowledge.
Right now, I know there's a bunch of Samsung products that do 2,000 nits.
Just to give it some reference point, yeah.
The 14 series, what does it go up to? 1750 nits? Mm-hmm. I don't think that goes up to 2,000 nits yet.
Yeah. So it sounds about right.
Yeah.
But considering 3,000, that's clearly the most I've ever heard on any Apple product in the history of
or any product for that matter. I don't think Androids have 3,000 nits either.
It's going to be very interesting to actually see side by side comparison, especially outside in the sun. That's the main thing for me. Right. Now, the obviously you got the S9 chips on the Series 9. What you got the efficiency cores on there, although it's powering the screen to be more brighter, but it still has the same battery life. Yeah. Do you think it was a smart move by Apple to utilize its efficiency cores to power up the screen to become more brighter, as opposed to creating more battery life on the Series 9 specifically? I know the Apple Watch Ultra has fairly good battery life in general, but a lot of people still complain about that's 18 hours a day. That's usually not enough for most people. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to start with the Watch Ultra. The three of us have been using the Ultra for now a year. Yeah. When I first started out with the Ultra, I was using the watch face, which used the least amount of battery. It was giving me about 4.5 days of battery life, which to me was amazing. I'm not very heavy on the watch. I don't take calls on the watch, so 4.5 days was amazing. Now I'm still getting 2 days quite comfortably. I just took a trip, 3 days. I did not have my charger with me.
Yeah.
Did not have any issues. Somehow I managed to last the 3 days. So I think it's really good that the processor is going to continue to give us the same output for better screen brightness. And I think brightness is important because this watch is meant to be used outdoors. And a lot of people that are outdoor enthusiasts will appreciate that they have better visibility, yet not compromising on battery life. So I think it's a pretty fair trade-off.
Fair enough. I have a hot take for you guys right now. With this new double tap gesture feature, how many times are you hitting that snooze button in the morning before you actually wake up? Is the real question.
Yeah, for me, I wake up before my alarm goes off. I have a habit. My biological clock just goes off.
Maybe you do. I don't know about Samir.
I have my dog.
I can see Samir coming in late to meetings. It's like, you just be like, it's just going to be so easy. I mean, let's think about this logically speaking. Right. Like, obviously, you have your always on display, but when you actually look at the watch, that's when it lights up, right? If they implement a feature like you have to actually physically look at the watch and then double tap to turn off the snooze, that would make sense. But imagine you're just literally sleeping like 5 minutes later. It'll become like a habit. And it kind of reminds me, in the morning I have this automation feature with Alexa, with my lights. Every time my alarm goes off, the lights in my room turn on to help me wake up a lot faster. I wake up super, super early, so I want that extra push. And sometimes like that light would turn on and it would be a Sunday where I'm able to sleep in a little bit.
Right.
And all of a sudden I just see me waking up and I forgot to turn off the alarm. I'm like, Alexa, good night. And I'm waking up in the morning and that's like the code to tell Alexa to turn off the lights. And I can just imagine, I personally don't sleep with an Apple Watch, but I can see people that do, just tapping their fingers and just snoozing the shit out of the button, man.
Right.
So,
no, fair. That's a fair point. Samir, I don't know if you're going to use this because I know that was like a big highlight for you during the event.
No, I'm not going to use it because I don't wear my watch and sleep.
Well, keep in mind, guys, this is not new technology. It's just being utilized to another level.
Right.
I actually was curious because I heard somebody mention that this technology already exists in our current Apple Watches, which I did test already. So I went into the accessibility of the settings, and pretty much like I think I turned. Yeah, right now I have it on right now, so you can see kind of like do this. See, it lights up. See, I'm kind of switching through the applications. It's very limited to what you can actually do, but the functionality of this actually still works. It's just going to be more used to it with the new S9 chips in the Apple Watch series 9 and the Watch Ultra 2.
But I also think what was more exciting in the event, which a lot of people will benefit from, is Siri for Health. You can ask Siri, hey, what's my heart rate? Hey, Siri, this. Hey, Siri, So I think that implementation has a lot more value for a lot more people because up until now, even I'm just like pressing buttons and going through screens. Sometimes I forget when there's a software update where to find that information. Now it's simply just asking the watch. And for enthusiasts and active people that are really focusing on health, it's great, but it's also great for, I picture seniors that are maybe using the Apple Watch Series 9 to just say, hey, like I'm not feeling the best. Like, let me just see if my blood pressure is okay or what have you. Great implementation. So I think for me, over the brightness, over the double pinch feature, whatever you want to call it, I think this is a win for me.
So the double pinch feature is what they specifically talked about, but testing out the current gesture features on the Apple Watch Ultra, number one, there's different gestures do different things. So you can either pinch your fingers, you can either close your fist, or you can close your fist twice really fast. Those offer different gesture options. Going forward, what are some of the things where you're going to be using this, like pinching, whatever you go? What is this called? Pinch?
Yeah, I don't know. Double tap. You want to call it for now?
Yeah, double tap, pinch, whatever you want to call it. Like personally, for me, I see me definitely using this in the gym. So, for example, I'm using a timer, a resting timer. Sometimes I might have, I might be doing some elliptical training, and instead of doing this while working out, which is kind of awkward while working out, you can just tap. It'll just make things a lot more efficient.
Right.
I can definitely see myself using that in those scenarios, answering phone calls. But I kind of like the, the idea of hello,
Yeah.
Just makes it more James Bondy, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, true.
No, I also think it's good for maybe something like a summary. Sometimes you're on the treadmill and you just want to take a quick look at your summary, see how many calories you've burned.
Yeah.
I think there's a good implementation for that there. But most importantly, I think it would have been even better. All said and done, everything would have been better if it was in black.
Yes.
That's
absolutely. Samir, how often are you going to be using that tap feature? I mean, did we already ask you that question?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
I feel like you're going to use it more than anybody. You love automation. If it makes things easier in your life, you're definitely going to do it. I can just see this guy just like. You ever see those kids and like those really, really smart kids just calculating numbers?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I don't see, other than just taking phone calls, I don't see anything that would benefit. And of course, the being on the treadmill and checking out your heart rate and all that stuff. And like you said, it's already there in the watch. I didn't even know it was there. I mean, but I guess with the new chip, it's going to be more accessible. It's going to be faster.
Yeah,
it's going to be user friendly. So.
Yeah, I feel like there's always like some hidden features that they don't fully disclose in their presentations, and also keep in mind that it's still in beta mode, the iOS 17. We don't know its full functionalities, and when we actually get it in our hands, we'll be able to see what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to get into this will be a nice little segment to get into, because Apple talked a lot about sustainability, right? What are they mainly doing here? They're to get to the gist of things, they're eliminating the use of leather, and they're moving on to fine woven replacements on the bands, and cases and stuff like that. Now, I personally was a big fan of the leather bands and the leather cases, especially the Apple Watches had partnership with Hermes and stuff like that. And Hermes is known for its leather, so it's quite interesting that they're still partnering and proceeding with their business together. What do you guys think? Do you think it was a good move by Apple to eliminate leather? Or could they maybe have potentially implemented another alternative, such as a vegan leather, maybe? Something that is not necessarily leather. I mean, it has its own complications as well, of course. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that love their leather, I'm one of them.
I just think maybe they just wanted to get away from the word leather. The word leather...
Well, I'll tell you this. Third-party manufacturers are going to make a killing, because they're going to make some leather accessories or fake leather, whatever you want to call it. Those are going to sell fairly well right now.
I was also looking at some initial reviews for the fine woven cases that they've come out with. I think that's what it's called. They are scratching relatively easily. Your fingernail will scratch these cases, and unlike leather patinas over time, and a nice polish will clear up any marks that you don't like. Yeah, that's not the case with these new cases that they've released, and they are less durable if you compare them to a leather case, which obviously they'll lose the appeal over time. They don't feel the same. So I think, though, yes, they're going towards their 2030 objectives. I think as a company, if they are that focused on the objective as opposed to the profit, I think there's other things they could have done to further reduce the impact. And that goes to packaging, that obviously goes to, take backs, obviously recycling programs that they could have initiated this year, because their event it started off with Mother Nature being there and the whole press and everything. Like they made a really big deal out of it. They should have gone
like 20 minutes. It was like a 20-minute segment. It was incredible. So I
was thinking there's going to be a recycling initiative where they take back old phone boxes, or they take back old cables, old headphones, and they say, okay, we'll give you the new ones at a reduced price because we're thinking about the environment. That didn't happen, so this makes me feel...
But there's something interesting that I learned recently about the Apple bands. So I think it's the Nike Apple Watch bands specifically, the ones that kind of look like there's dirt spit on them. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Yeah, so those pieces of dirt are actually recycled bands, old recycled bands. Correct. So that's one form of I guess recycling that they're utilizing that they didn't really talk about too much.
They could have nailed it, Mike. That's all I'm saying. They could have really made a big deal out of it if they if they were emphasizing about the environment so much, they could have talked about it in every segment. The watch, this is what we've done with the bands. For the phones, we're taking back the cables. The boxes can come back, and
considering they took 20 minutes to talk about it, I'm quite surprised they didn't show off on that.
They meandered, it seemed, just to say, hey, 2030 will be there.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of a little bit? Do you ever see those videos on Instagram where people go and help these homeless people, and they're like, "Here, hey, are you homeless? Here's $100, and then the people watching is like, bro, you're just doing that stuff for views, Right. But at the same time, you still helped. You still helped the guy. Right. You still helped the guy, So it's kind of that's what Apple is doing, It's like, hey, we're doing this just to let you know. It's obviously not a bad thing, but. My point is that I have absolutely no point. And
even as far as leather is concerned, is it such a big deal? I mean, these days, is it like?
Hey, I don't
see any other big company.
The CO2 footprint of leather is significantly higher, both for the manufacturing process and then obviously the recycling process. It's a lot to do with emissions. So I understand the why behind it. But they could have gone a much better route, providing customers with a better experience. Yeah. Right. There are companies out there today. There's an Australian company that offers, I don't know if they call them vegan leather or they're the faux leather cases. They feel really good. I actually bought a watch band off of them. It's not an Apple product, but it feels good. It's comfortable, and it gives you, it gives you the imitation of, okay, at least this is a good alternative. The fine woven, not so much.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I just find the fine woven, it just doesn't have the appeal.
No,
it looks very basic, Apple has an image,
right,
of quality and as well as it's kind of a luxury product too.
Right.
And you look at the case, it just doesn't flow.
Yeah.
I understand that leather does give it that level of sophistication, but then if they took it out, they should have replace it with something else, like you said.
Yeah. I think also, Samir, this is just me, but I think they're going in a direction where they're making the phone so durable that they might eventually move away from the concept of cases. Though they may still offer cases, they will move away from they'll say one day, hey, this is so amazing, you don't just go with the Apple Care plan.
Eventually,
you don't need a case, right?
What's the number one component on any device that breaks, really, right? It's the glass, right? Yeah. The glass is very, very hard to perfect, and it's regardless if you're using titanium, which we will talk about shortly,
right?
Or stainless steel or aluminum. It doesn't matter. You need a case to protect the glass, and you need a screen protector to protect the glass. Yeah. We're gonna get into the whole conversation about titanium or what are the pros and cons, if there are any, shortly. But that's that. In the meantime, I'd actually like to bring up the Apple Watch Ultra bands. That's something interesting that I would like to discuss because they did come out with some new colors, and I think they improved. They're coming out with something that people actually wanted. So let's pull it up.
Did you order any bands yet?
No, I didn't order anything at all, to be honest with you. We're a store. We're Flipaforum.com, and we're gonna get most of our stock in very shortly, and we will put it into your hands as soon as we can. Yeah, so let's go to the Apple. Actually, I'd like to go to scroll up for a second. Go to the Apple Watch Nike bands. Yeah, right there. No. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Yeah, I just want to show you guys what I was talking about, the spit. You see those? You see that sports band with those little dots? They look pretty cool. But that's all like recycled old bands, which is a quite interesting concept. Obviously, in terms of price, I think in Canada specifically, prices have slightly gone up. Compared to U.S. market rates, because of the exchange rates and stuff like that, it still remains the same. But in Canada, they did slightly go up $20 to $40 per model. Right. Actually, can you scroll up? I'd like to go to the Apple Watch Ultra at the very, very top there. So you're going to go to Apple Watch Ultra. Yeah, you got it. All right, so let's go to order now. Let's see what's going on here. Now, this is the Canadian site, right? So if you're going to start with the Alpine Loop here, we got three options over here. Beautiful colors. I'm really, really digging that burgundy right there. What is that burgundy called? It's indigo color. I really, really like that color. That's one of my favorite colors. Mm-hmm. They're all like very classy looks, in my opinion. even though I liked the Alpine color last year, it was just kind of dull and boring. But that blue was pretty nice as well. I think they're all very nice. What do you guys like?
I like the blue and the indigo. Green, not so much. Green seems like a repeat of last year. I know it's like a paler version of it.
Yeah.
But again, it's not bad. It's a nice look if you haven't tried this loop yet. For me personally, I think the ones that excite me the most are the Trail Loop and the Orange Ocean Band.
Nice. Let's go to the Trail Loops here. Very beautiful blue and orange band right there. That's really, really nice. Kind of, we had a similar one with the blue and yellow strap kind of.
And the good thing about this band is it's super comfortable.
Yes, this is probably one of my favorite bands for sure.
So,
and then lastly, we got the Ocean Band, and they finally included the most faked band of all time, the orange one.
Yeah.
So last year we had yellow and black, I believe, right?
Yes, we did. We had a yellow, we had white, and we had
it was a
blue.
Starlight. It was a Starlight.
Yeah. And I think the blue this year is different too, Mike. I think they've moved away from the darker blue that
that's what I'm saying. It was more of a black. They called it midnight, right? It was more whatever midnight theme they were going with their phones and all that stuff. I'm not a big fan.
Right.
Happy to see that they're moving away from that. But love the white and obviously the orange.
That's the best.
It is beautiful, especially with that orange accent on the scroll
action
wheel
button
there.
and
it's just beautiful. Yeah. All right, guys. I'd like to keep it moving. Next up, we got the one thing that we've been waiting all year long for, just like we do every single year. The new iPhone 15s are officially out. So we got the iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Plus, the iPhone 15 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. We didn't get the iPhone 15 Ultra as we all suspected, but all of the leaks were right, guys. We got 99% of the leaks correct, and that's that. Now, I'd like to start with the base iPhone 15s. Those were probably the most interesting this year compared to the Pro Max options. I feel like they got a significant upgrade compared to what they typically get, right? So we got the very like pastel-y colors this year, right? With the satin frosted finish, more rounded corners and whatnot. Yeah. And guess what? All of the base model iPhones are now getting dynamic island as well. Now, what's your opinion on the colors on the base model 15s?
So I think they've moved away from gloss finish iPhones, which is nice. It's kind of standardized with the Pro models. That's one thing that's common along with dynamic island. They've gone with a pastel look this year, which doesn't look bad. I mean, it could have been a lot better. The implementation could have been a lot better. They're washed out versions of these colors. I think the nicest one is still black, and then followed with blue, which is white.
Yeah.
But I think dynamic island is a big win for a lot of people. The design language has changed. There's USB C on it, so
yes,
that makes the iPhone 15, to your point, much, I guess, better upgrade year over year than the Pro models.
So I was actually like sitting there, I'm looking at these colors, and I'm like, why are they so light? And it's quite ironic because this year they don't have a starlight color or a white color, but they did come out with something that's fairly white. I mean, it's called blue. It's clearly not a blue. It's a very, very interesting. So I was wondering, why are they so light? So I'll explain to you the glass and the back glass and how it's actually made compared to the older pieces of glass. So the actual material that they use on the glass is still the same, but the way they make the glass is a little bit different. So for example, if we're gonna pull out, do we have any? No, we don't have any base model phones here right now. But for example, the iPhone 12, the dark blue color, right? Technically, what it is, it's like a sheet of blue, and then they put a clear glass over it. Do you understand? So that's how you're able to get that really dark color. Now, what they do is they infuse the glass with a hint of color. So the glass itself is actual colored this time. And that's why you see when the glass becomes thicker at the top where the camera bump is, when you layer on top different color, the same color, it gets darker and darker and darker. So you kind of see that color begin to change on the camera bump because it's layered. And it's a very interesting concept that they applied this year, and hence why it's so light.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, we got to get into what do we got here? We got the A16 Bionic from
last year.
From from the 14 Pro, and we're also taking a little bit of their camera as well. Now, that's Now, the 14 Pro alone is an amazing phone. And considering that you got a base model 15, taking those things along with the dynamic island, Samir, what would you do in a situation? Would you consider upgrading to a 15, or would you tell somebody, hey, you know what? Stick to the 14 Pro or go with a 14 Pro instead, because you're still getting, a more premium build quality as opposed to the aluminum. You're still getting that stainless steel, and you're getting that third camera. And, of course, refresh rate. You cannot forget about that. Yeah. 60 hertz versus 120 hertz. I don't know. Right. What would you do?
I would definitely go with the the 15. Of course, refresh rate, like you just said.
Yeah.
I just think the body of the 15, is it the new design? It's the new design that's basically across the board, right? The rounded edges and the...
Yeah.
So I think as far as that's concerned, I think just it feels better. Mm-hmm. Like holding it feels better.
Yeah.
The camera, I guess, is the same, right?
Yeah, it's exact same camera. It's exact same A16 Bionic chip. Let's have a little bit of debate here. I would say, Omar, you probably would have to disagree. Is that a yes 14, or no?
I would say go with the 14 Pro or 14 Pro Max, hands down.
Why?
Because the design element is one thing, but more than 80% of people use a case on their phone anyway, so that design element goes away. Mm-hmm. You're not getting 120 hertz in 2023 also. This is the same phone that's going to last you 2024. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a little embarrassing not to have 120 hertz, especially when everyone else has minimum 90 hertz or 120. Now we're also seeing 144 hertz come out. So that is big. Then on top of that, you have one less camera, which is secondary. Then when you do get USB C, you're getting speeds of up to USB 2.0, not 3.0, which is again limiting you from getting something that is a premium experience. And then number 4 is stainless steel is better than aluminum. Yes. If you ask me personally, like it's not titanium on those phones, and I would, from a durability perspective, I would recommend anyone hands down to go for a 14 Pro or a 14 Pro Max, because it's giving you more value and it will give you better value over time as opposed to a 15.
Yeah, so I'm going to bounce back there. So I would completely agree. The 14 Pro is slightly better. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you why I would recommend a 15 to a potential customer. The 15 compared to the 14, what are the differences now, right? The 15 has USB Type-C. True. One wire to charge all of your devices. I love that feature. And the fact that you can now do and implement reverse charging. You can now charge your iPhone or your AirPods using your iPhone cable from your iPhone, right? And you're also bouncing from a 1.5 watt charging speed, which was previously on a 14 Pro, because you could still do reverse charging on the 14 Pro, but it was a lot lower wattage. You're jumping from a 1.5 wattage to a 4.5 wattage. So you're getting significantly faster charging speeds as well. So I'd say the combination of the same camera, the same chipset, and the USB Type-C would be, and of course Dynamic Island, would be a good fit for somebody looking for a brand new phone. Obviously, with the iPhone, if you're going to go with a new iPhone 15, you're going to get a full 1 year warranty as well. As opposed to the 14 Pros, you're most likely not going to have any warranty there. So if those are some things that you value, then I would recommend the 15. But if you want a better experience, in my opinion, stick to the 14 Pros. The refresh rate alone is something that wins me over, and that's that. I'd like to get into a unique feature that we saw in the event. You had this lady. She was in the middle of it looked like a free market or something like, not a free
farmers
market. And it was really, really loud outside. And she answers the phone call. And typically, when you're in a very busy environment, you would hear a bunch of gibberish in the background, like a bunch of people talking. It's very noisy, and you're going like, oh, hold on, let me go somewhere quiet. Now, there's a feature that you can implement where it would automatically filter the sound at the back, and you'll be able to only hear the voice of the person that's talking on the line, which is very, very interesting. And I think that I see myself using that feature a lot.
Agreed. The only thing that was not clear to me was do I have to manually turn that on every single time on a call, or is it automatically available every single time?
That's a good question, actually. I'm not too sure on that. I would, okay, for example, it's hard to say.
The reason why
I think it's something that you can potentially, trigger on and off. Like you could say, I want this to, why wouldn't it happen every single time? I mean, what are the pros and cons here?
I guess just to give the consumer more control, I think some people prefer having it one way or the other. Some people like the way things are, like the actual environment that they're in. They prefer that. I don't know. But I think where Apple missed an opportunity, and I could be wrong, but I think they missed an opportunity with the action button here. They should have thrown that in as a customizable or a remappable option when the action button. Maybe instead of pressing once, press twice, and that activates, that feature, and then it goes back to default the next time. So I think a software update can always fix that. Mm-hmm. But I think if we had control over it, great. If not, no problem. I think the only challenge is software may work at times, and depending on the software version you're on, it may not work other times, and it becomes a little bit more frustrating then.
Is this only an Apple phone feature, or do Samsungs have this option?
Well, I only follow what Apple typically does.
No, I'm asking Omar because I know Omar.
So there is active noise cancellation on Samsung devices as well. Okay. There is the ability to remove a lot of noise around you. However, what we saw is a really refined version of what they're trying to offer with this phone, and that is 100% control. It wasn't like they didn't decrease the volume in the background to say, hey, it's still there. Mm-hmm. It was like visually and listening to it, it was gone.
Yeah, it was gone. Yeah.
It was gone. Mm-hmm. So that is a first, and I think if that is an actual implementation, and we'll test it out next week, it's pretty amazing. And
obviously, this technology works fairly good in the AirPods that we currently use, the AirPods Pro.
Noise cancellation.
Noise cancellation. So technology already exists. I guess they're just putting into more of the product, which is the right move to do. Now, I actually want to revert back to the wired charging, not even wireless charging. I'm quite surprised Apple still doesn't have a wireless reverse charging. Mm-hmm. But they did finally implement a proper version of wired. Now, I wanted to bring you guys some different scenarios here. What happens if you plug in a 14 Pro, which is a lightning cable, into a 15, let's say start iPhone 15 with the USB C cable, right? Who's charging who?
I think it activates data transfer mode. Doesn't really start charging.
No. So in this particular scenario, the iPhone 15 would always charge the lightning cable. Okay. So if you get an XR or an iPhone 13, whatever it is, any model that prior to the 15s, it would always charge that phone. Okay. Now, if you're brought with a situation where I have an iPhone 15 and you have an iPhone 15, you're gonna plug in the C to C, obviously, and you're gonna do this like digital handshake, and you're gonna pretty much say, because I have more battery than you, I'm gonna give you some charge. Right. And if it was vice versa, then I would be getting the battery from you. So it kind of uses that logic, and it's quite interesting that it's still able to implement both, the older lightning cables and whatnot. Still curious to see what would happen with Samsung. Would it still charge Samsung phones as well?
Well, I think I saw a video and it was kind of like, it wasn't very consistent. Mm-hmm. It was doing it, it wasn't doing it. Mm-hmm. So I think the handshake wasn't happening properly. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to figure that out.
So I also, here's where my head went. And if I have a 14 Pro and a 15 Pro Max, which most likely will happen at some point, and my 15 Pro Max is low on battery because that's my primary phone, and on my 14 Pro Max, or my 14 Pro rather, or Max is sitting at 80%, can I not use that phone to charge my 15?
Say that again?
Can my 14 not charge the 15?
No. Okay. No, because this lightning cable, it will always charge the 14, regardless. So even if you have 20% and the 14 has 80%, it will always charge the 14.
Got it.
Let's jump to the 15 Pros and the 15 Pro Maxes. Now, visually, we got all of them being titanium now as opposed to the stainless steel. Also, a little bit more rounded, which means they'll be a little bit more comfortable in the hand, I would assume. Mm-hmm. And you got a little bit of I guess, smaller bezels around the corners there to give it some more screen resolution, screen real estate rather. Now, the titanium. Let's talk about the pros or the cons, if there are any, of course. What is titanium? Let's start off there. Titanium is a material that typically tends to be a little bit more stronger and definitely a lot more lighter. Now, my question to you is, what plays more of a role here? Do people care about the aesthetics more? Do people care about it being light more? Do people care about it being stronger more? What do you guys think? I feel like the durability aspect of it doesn't really play a role here because people still wear cases and glass can still break.
Right. So, okay. So I am going to reference everything I say based on the Apple Watch Ultra and a year of use, having titanium. This watch has been a daily driver for me for the last year. I've fallen a few times. I've dropped it a few times. It got smashed once. I won't say why. But other than just, cosmetic marks, this watch did not crack. It did not break. And I have Apple Care on it. I haven't had the chance to use it once. So I think titanium's durability is not a question. And for people who keep their phone for 2, 3, 4 years, I think it's a win. Software, we know Apple does a really good job. So that's a win there. But ultimately, it will come down to why titanium. And I think they just want to move in a direction where all of their products are uniform with one another. The watch being the first, now the phones, eventually the iPads. And they want to create that experience that, hey, we have a premium product, as they have always. And they want to stand out of the competition and say, hey, this is what makes us premium. Mm-hmm. Is that enough, though? That was the question that I was left with at the end of
what about the cost? Because cost of manufacturing also, it's kind of...
Well, the prices, which we'll get into, haven't significantly changed. I mean, they're pretty much identical. My question to you specifically is, you said it's not enough, but what if I told you that the iPhone 15 Pro Max weighs as much as your 14 Pro? Or do we have a 14 Pro here?
Yeah, no? for me personally, it won't matter as much because I'm carrying a Fold 5 here, then I have a 14 Pro Max. So my muscle memory is trained to lift it, but I know for a lot of people it might be lighter, but on paper they're saying it's 10% lighter. Mm-hmm. Will you feel it? Yes, absolutely you will feel it because we felt it the moment the Fold 5 came out. The Fold 4 was heavier. We could tell the difference. It's going to be similar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, is that enough?
Yeah, so... I mean, another thing with titanium, it's not as much of a fingerprint magnet as the stainless steel was. But I did have a client, as soon as the iPhone 15 came out, he texted me that same day, and he's like, I don't like it. I'm like, why? He's like, it doesn't look premium enough. It looks cheaper. I still like the stainless steel. If you were to compare them side by side, not knowing, let's remove the 14s and the 15s, just aesthetically looking at it. Obviously, the shiny metal looks more appealing, looks more premium. Right. I feel like they're trying to sell titanium as being premium, which it technically is, but it's hard to make something like titanium premium and flashy when it's never really been sold like that in previous history. Mm-hmm. If you look at phones, they typically like to copy the color schemes and the colors of jewelry and high-end watches. Right. You had the rose gold with the successes, the gold, the silvers, the space grays. And that's how they push the premium feel, right? And all of a sudden they come out with something that's titanium. Mm-hmm. And I think they're taking a little bit of a different approach now. Now they're saying it's space grade titanium, 5th grade alloy or something like that. Next level. I don't know if I necessarily think it looks more premium, but it probably is.
To each their own. I think even with this one, they call it surgical grade stainless steel. Yeah. They'll always come up with a fancy name to market it. But I think over the course of using the 14, and I use my 14 without a case, I think I've dropped my 14s every now and then. Never cracked it, never broke it. There are no dings on cosmetically on the phone either. There are no scratches on a silver phone, which is pretty amazing to me. Yeah. So I think the appeal, to your point, is right. It was associated with jewelry. Silver was silver, gold was gold. And that's what drew a lot of people towards, hey, this is now a shiny new product. Moving away from it, I don't know if you've noticed, but Outside of natural titanium, which is titanium, they've used a PVD coating for black, blue, and silver. And if you compare black with the previous black, there might not be as much of a difference. But if you compare white with white, this is a much better white. The 14 white is a much better white than the newer white because it's such a pale looking white that I am confident that a lot of people that will buy the phone will have buyer's remorse and they'll be like, hey, this is not like the new flashy product I spent $2,000 on.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, it's a status symbol to have the latest and the greatest. And a lot of people do it just by differentiating with the latest color. With the 14s, it was the purple. With the 13s, it was Sierra Blue. And this year, a lot of people will find themselves confused if they don't have natural titanium.
Yes. And also, I don't know about that blue, guys. I typically like to go for, the newest color. I went from the Pacific Blue to the Alpine Green to the deep purple, which I have right now. And knowing me, I probably would have went for the blue. But when I saw that in natural titanium, obviously that was more impressive because what does that blue look more like in
12 Pro Max?
It looks like, man, from far away, it literally looks like a 12 Pro Max, and it's like, because we see these phones every single day in our store, we're like psychologically primed to think a certain way. So when I see that color, I'm like, cheap, get that away from me, Yeah.
They could have done so much better. Sorry, I'm cutting you. They could have done such a better job with the blue. They've done different editions of blue. They've had like a blue 13 Pro Max. They've had a 12 Pro Max and 12 Pro in blue. Then the regular 12s and 13s also came in nice shades of blue. Then there was a lighter blue for the 13 and 14, which is also nice. But I think they really missed a mark when they said, hey, you know what? Like, we'll go back 3 years and we'll give you the same phone
Not a
again.
good move with the color, in my opinion.
They could have gone on
this might be the first time that it might not sell. At the end of the day, it is blue. Some people will like it, but they should have went like with a navy blue or something.
Or they should have gone with
classy that actually falls in line with the current colors that they have.
Yeah, but there were leaks that there was going to be a crimson red or like a bronze.
Yes.
I feel okay, not bronze because it's too close to natural titanium. Crimson red would have been nice.
We did get a natural titanium, which saves the day.
Which it does.
I love that color. And
but for you, let me ask you this.
Sure.
If I were to ask you to rank the colors for the pros, first, like the first one you mentioned is the best and the last one is the least favorite, what would it be? How would you rank it?
I would definitely go with natural titanium number one, white number two, space titanium number three.
Black.
Is that what it's? Black titanium, and then lastly with the blue titanium.
Okay, Samir.
For sure, that would be my order.
What about you?
I was just wondering, like those colors are kind of masculine colors, because previously you had the golds and the pinks and the reds that really popped, and I think, I know customers used to specifically ask for that color, like they could really relate to that color.
That's a
because
good point.
It used to kind of like, you have an Apple phone, but it kind of stood out.
Yeah,
right?
but okay.
I just feel like this. I feel like, it's a better phone. It looks nice, but I just feel like it's very masculine, right?
Yeah, and I don't even think it's the colors. I think it's the fact that it's not as flashy, right?
Yeah,
they got the sparkly feel here.
It's not flashy, exactly.
For the feminine colors, I would say you can easily get the gold or the silver. Those are like the really feminine colors for the 14 models. And then you got the masculine colors, which was like the space black for
Space
sure.
black, yeah.
And even the deep purple, though
that flows too.
It's a Barney color. It was definitely more of a masculine feel in my opinion. But this year, you don't got that flashiness anymore.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would have to guess that the white would do fairly well with the women, but and probably the titanium, but the other two definitely not.
No,
because women are usually the ones who want to buy this, because it's more like it's an accessory. It's a fashion accessory more than just a phone. So I don't know. Like I said, durability is there, and
right.
It has all those new bells and whistles. But
I'm also looking at early trends. I'm looking at reviews. I'm looking at the website. Natural titanium seems to be the color that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you go online right now, blue is like readily available. You can get it tomorrow or Friday or Saturday. You can get blue. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then there's black, white pops up every now and then, but natural titanium you will not see.
What do you guys think about the brand new action button that's being implemented on the iPhone 15 Pro models?
I was not excited about the action button at first because for me, when I'm in a meeting, I look at my phone like, okay, it's on silent or it's not. And now I know I can flip a switch. There you go. Done.
Mm-hmm.
now having to actually spend a little bit more time to ensure that my phone's on silent is not the greatest, but when you start looking at possibilities with obviously software updates, I think it's fun to have. It's nice. I especially like the fact that you can program it to be, for example, the camera. You press and hold the camera, dedicated button for your camera, and you can customize it to a certain specific camera setting. So it will always, when you press and launch, it will always go back to that specific setting, and you can use it as a shutter button as well, which is great. Again, if I were to look at the flip side of it, the only thing is because it's on this side of the phone, there's a risk that I'm covering it, or I might end up covering the camera. If it was on the other side, it would have been maybe nicer to have a dedicated button. But again, there are implementations. They definitely can do a lot with that button. I would just have preferred to have some kind of visual feel to the fact that, hey, now it's on silent versus now it's not. I don't know how they're gonna.
Well, there's gonna be a little icon in the top of the dynamic island that's gonna state that it's.
Which means I still have to flip around my phone, look at it, spend the extra second. Right now, I just have to look at the orange color.
Maybe they could potentially, I don't know, use the features on the Apple Watch with the iOS. Too. I don't know where they're gonna go with that. But one additional feature that I generally liked about the action button. Is that what it's called? The action button is the use of shortcuts. Now, I don't know if you guys use shortcuts a lot, but I do typically like to use shortcuts. And the cool thing about, having an iPhone in your hand everywhere you go is that you can implement certain tasks or functions at a given time. So, for example, I don't know, I wake up in the morning, I press my button, and all of a sudden the coffee machine starts. You can have that functionality if you have the smart coffee machine set in place. And then I go to work. I start doing what I got to do at the office, and I press the button, and guess what? I start the coffee there as well again.
Right.
But the fact that, and it's also cool that it's based on it's shortcuts are built in time frames. So if I use a shortcut within this time frame, it's going to execute a certain task. Once I come to my office, it knows that it has to execute the hot coffee machine on my office.
Right.
I think I don't know how often I'm going to be using something like this, but again, we're going to have to get them on our hands. We're going to do some testing, and we're going to see where this goes.
No, also, I will say this. It reminds me of Bixby. I don't know why. Like Samsung gave you the option to remap it, and then you could use it for anything. I'm just thinking, when I first saw the action button, I thought to myself, I thought to myself, if only there was an LED indicator behind the button that would light up orange when you pressed it to tell you, hey, it's silent. And then when you changed it back to turn it off or whatever, it went back to like a white, maybe for 3 seconds and turned off. I think that would have been really cool, like a good implementation to keep the visual aspect of it in. I think they missed the mark there. Outside of that, can it be a cool button? Yeah, sure. But for me, it's the Bixby button, and that's what it will always be.
Fair enough.
Well, I think the action button is actually quite a good addition. As you use the phone, you do your day-to-day stuff. Sometimes you think in the back of your head, I wish I just could do this really quickly.
Yeah.
Right? And you mentioned the shortcuts, and you mentioned that. So I think I personally would be using that a lot more. People, and even like as far as like just, I know a lot of people take selfies, so that will be a great addition for them. Just get started right away. So
yeah, and I really want to mention it. I think this is important to mention that you don't know what most people use their phones for, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they work in an environment where they constantly need to do something that takes a lot longer to implement. Where now they're going to have the option to use the button for anything that they need to. Basically, speaking on behalf of us, we might not necessarily need to use that button, but most people probably would.
Yeah, they can do a memo, record a memo.
No, I'm sure for different people, it will be beneficial. I thought of like just one maybe implementation, and this is like an older implementation, so it's not as fancy for many people. But I'm thinking construction workers, people that are working on oil rigs.
That's what I was thinking.
If only they made this into, is it called a walkie-talkie? Is that what it's called? Yeah. They could program that button to press and hold, and they're connected to like 4 or 5 devices within a proximity. Press and hold, leave a message, everybody hears it, then press and hold, and they respond. I think that would have been a really cool implementation. They can still do it.
Yeah.
But I think that button, being a button on its own, can do so much more because we have it on the watch. And I felt very limited having it for the entire year.
Yeah.
There was always something else I wanted to do with it. but then there was only the 5 things that I could do. So I hope that software updates will change that.
What about the button on the new Ultra 2? Is it still the same?
I think so, yeah.
I think aesthetically, and other than the double tap feature and the screen brightness, and I think that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But let's talk a little bit about the brand new cameras. Now, they're getting some significant upgrades, specifically the 15 Pro Max. Now, 15 Pro Max, you're going to be able to use 5 times optical zoom as opposed to the 3-time optical zoom. And I believe that's only available on the 15 Pro Max as opposed to 15 Pro.
That's correct. The 15 Pro is going to be limited to 3 times optical, and the 15 Pro Max goes up to 5. The 15 Pro Max also goes up to 25x digital zoom as well.
Yes, and it's also a lot more customizable now.
Right.
So you're able to kind of like toggle between, different focal lengths or distances in a more efficient manner. I think they were lacking something this year. We were expecting a little bit more from it.
I was hoping for a periscope lens.
I was also hoping for a periscope
And the moment I heard periscope is coming or there were leaks, I said, okay, it's going to be like Samsung.
Let me make this official. There's 2 things that the leaks got wrong, which I was really hyped about, was the periscope lens and the black Apple Watch Ultra 2. We didn't get that. But there is some more cool features that the 15 Pro has to offer. We got spatial video now.
Right.
Obviously, a lot of talks of the Vision Pro coming out very soon, where you're really going to be able to utilize those videos in live time. Do you think Apple is taking the right steps in the right direction, implementing spatial video, considering it's not really prominent yet, but it will be very soon?
It's a new experience, and when Vision Pro becomes available, that experience is going to speak for itself. Yeah. This is like the Pro RAW feature when it came out. It was there, but you couldn't use it until like a few months later. Yeah. Same thing. So I think when we experience it, it'll obviously have a lot of value for a lot of people. But I think moving away just for a second from hardware, I think what's more powerful this year is they've bumped up the cloud storage, limited to 2 terabyte. Now 6 terabyte is available, as well as 12. They're a little bit more on the pricey end, but I mean, if you're a content creator and you've got like a lot of files to upload and you need them always, I think 6 terabyte, $40 Canadian, not bad. And then 12 terabytes available for like $70, which is, I think, a little on the pricier end, but it's there. And I think they are future-proofing themselves, that when maybe the 16 Pro and Pro Max come out eventually, they finally have a periscope lens, the cloud is ready to take on that much data.
Yeah, I feel like the iPhone is so behind on a lot of things. We got the periscope lens, we got the reverse wireless charging, we got the USB Type-C 3.0 lightning speeds. I mean, there's so much more to be done here. And hopefully Apple finally gets it right. All in one. All in one in the 16. Akshay, can I ask you for a favor? Can we pull up the new iPhones? I'd like to see the new prices, the Canadian prices. Because, yes, in the States, as we all know, the prices have remained the same. But, hey, Canada didn't decide to do that. So all prices have went up by about $30 to $100, depending on the model. Around. Obviously, if you're looking at the 1 TB option on the 15 Pro Max, there's a significant price upgrade there. Let's go up for a second, let's go to the iPhone. iPhone 15 Pros.
15 Pros start at $1449. Last year they started at $1399, so that's
so
$50.
There's a 50. Yeah, let's go to pre-order, and we're gonna see over here. Now, this is an interesting one. So 15 Pro starts at $128, and then the 15 Pro Max base model starts at $256. Let's click that. 15 Pro Max over here, and scroll down, and you will see that the storage options we have available are only 256, 512, and 1 TB. We do not have the 128 gigabyte option available anymore. So it seems like they are upping their base margins by $100 a unit by force. And very, very interesting attempt here by Apple. Very smart, actually. I would think I would assume most people would go for a 256 anyways, but again, it's forcing people to spend more money for something that they don't necessarily need yet, right? Love the white color, by the way. Go back on that. That's very nice as well. But that natural titanium, man, that natural. Just look at that blue though. That natural titanium, I love it. But go back to that blue. 12 Pro, man. Seriously, that's a.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question for you.
Yeah.
What color are you convincing him to get this year?
I told him not. He comes up to me today. Actually, he's like, I did some thinking. I'm gonna get the natural titanium. I'm, no, you're not. That's what I'm getting.
And do you think 256 gigs is enough? I personally feel
I'm gonna stick to the 512s. Personally, for me.
Okay.
But it's definitely a good chess move by Apple to start with 256. And you know what this typically means? They're going to have a 2 terabyte option coming out very shortly, probably in the next model, I would assume.
Most likely.
But the 1 terabytes didn't do too well for them on the 13s or the 14s.
The which one? Which model?
The 1 terabytes.
Well, they're very niche. I mean, the highest model doesn't typically do well for any model, even the iPads, right? Or even you look at the 8 terabyte or 4 terabyte options on the MacBooks, they don't typically do as well. But they're offered those options because for professionals that are, maybe doing videography, would need that amount of space, right? Considering a lot of people are getting into content creation nowadays. So having options is definitely, important.
I will say this. I have a 1 terabyte 14 Pro Max.
Yep.
I have close to 20,000 plus pictures, maybe 2,000 videos on here, 150 applications. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
My hardware storage is using only 70 gigs. My cloud storage is using 325. So I understand the concept of having higher storage models, but you always have to consider that if you are someone who changes their phone every year or every other year, it's better to have cloud storage, and a 512 is somewhere, that's the sweet spot.
Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up on this topic over here. We're going to get quickly into the Apple AirPods USB Type-C. Okay, that's it. That's done. We're going to move on to the next one. That's literally it, folks. Now, Apple has, with the AirPods, it was nice to see them, complete, I would say, almost 90% of their product now carry the USB Type-C option. You still have a few models left.
What models are left, if you can name a few?
Okay.
I think obviously the older iPhones
AirPods
that are still
Max.
selling.
Are they USB Type-C?
No.
They're not.
No.
So we're still waiting on the AirPods Max 2. And they didn't mention anything about the AirPods Pro.
The AirPods, the small ones you're talking about?
The AirPods Pro, yeah. I don't think those are USB Type-C because only the AirPods 3 are USB Type-C from my understanding.
Pro 2. The Pro 2?
Yes, the AirPod Pro 2.
They're coming now with a USB C case. I don't care for that as much.
Yeah, and also another thing to mention here, your AirPods will not fit. It's not like you can just buy a case. They actually won't be compatible with the USB Type-C case. It has to be USB Type-C headphones that are compatible with the USB Type-C case.
Correct.
That's very interesting.
And that was the same.
Very smart move by Apple again. They know how to make you spend your money for no reason.
Right. No, they actually did that when the Gen 2s came out. I had the Gen 1, and I thought it would be really cool to just, swap cases when I'm running low on battery, and it's going to be like a quick fix without having to actually pair with the phone again.
Yeah.
And the moment I popped in the Gen 1s into the Gen 2s, they said, hey, you're not compatible.
Yeah.
So, it's most likely going to happen again.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have not the biggest news in the world to have Type-C on AirPods.
Yeah. I'd like to go around the table. Your top 3, I guess, most exciting features off of anything that got released a couple weeks ago in the event. Your top 3 features doesn't have to be ranked in any order, but I'd like to know, what are you most excited for in the new phones, the new Apple Watches? Can it be material used? It could be features used. You let me know. I'm going to start off with Omar. What do you like?
I think for me, design is 1 for the phone.
Okay.
The periscope, the new lens is 2. And obviously Siri for health on the watch is number 3. I think these are all practical things to have. The reason why I did not choose USB Type-C is right now on my table stand, I have 3 cables running through somewhere that are Lightning and 2 that are Type-C.
Okay.
All that's going to happen is I'm going to have 2 less on the Lightning and 4 USB-Cs. I'll still have 1 Lightning just in case I'm using a 14 Pro to compare. But it's a nice to have when you're traveling, for
Absolutely.
sure. When you're traveling, it's a nice to have.
Samir?
Just quick question. With Canada, do they have the eSIM or is it the tray?
Oh, we're still sticking to the tray.
Physical SIM.
Okay.
Thank God.
I know.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with that.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, for our viewers that don't know, the phones that are being sold in the States do not come with a SIM card tray. They only are sold with the eSIM capability option. And that all started off with the iPhone 14.
Yeah.
And man, the amount of people that are complaining in the States, like, hey, no, and it's quite crazy that the phones in Canada held their value for a lot longer because we're one of the unique countries that still carry the eSIM. I mean, the SIM card option in North America.
There's a higher demand for Canadian phones internationally as well, like as opposed to American phones.
For that
for
reason.
last
Because
year,
of that reason, yeah.
I also want to share with you guys, I don't know if you know, the iPhone 12, I think, was still available last year as a brand new unit. In the States, they removed the physical SIM off of that phone as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I have an iPhone 12 lying around somewhere without like a physical SIM. So it's actually not just limited to the 14.
That could be a good option for your top 3. The fact that they still decided to keep the
that's
SIM
what I was
card tray
gonna
in
say.
Canada. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, so that would be definitely number 1 for me, the SIM tray.
You know what's funny? That was
Because,
the first
you
thing
know,
that I
we-
looked at.
Yeah, we travel a lot.
I went to the Apple website because they always show the picture of the SIM card tray on the phone, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I gotta go on the Apple website and see what kind of photo they used. I wanted to make sure there's a Canadian website. I saw the SIM card tray. I'm like, oh, yes, we're good. We're good for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So SIM card tray definitely for me. That's since we do travel a lot, so you know that definitely.
Of course. We can talk about this on a whole episode. But number 2
would be the action button. Okay. I like the action button. I see potential for it. I mean, it's just starting out, so I think there's going to be a lot more.
Right.
I think it's just in its infancy. So
Yeah. First gen.
it's first gen.
Yeah.
And the last thing is just the titanium. I like the durability. I like the color, and and also I'm very interested in seeing how it's going to feel. So maybe that would be another option for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just hope, now that you're saying that, I just hope that when I hold the phone, when you hold the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max, I use it without a case, so it gives you a little bit of grip. I don't know if that makes sense. I just hope that the titanium is not, like slippery like aluminum is on the iPhone 12 series, because that will force me to put a case on the phone.
Well, see, this one is definitely slippery. Very slippery. Very slippery.
I just hope.
But then again, the stainless steel can be very slippery as well. For myself, I would definitely have to say the USB Type-C, mainly because of traveling. I do travel a lot, and it'd be a lot easier, simpler to pack just one cable. One cable to charge my MacBook, one cable to charge a lot of my other USB Type-C items that are usually everything is USB Type-C except Apple.
Right.
And now we're moving on from that and. What else? You got AirPods. You can now charge USB Type-C. So that's pretty much everything that I take. My number 2 would have to be the 3000 nits screen on the Apple Watch Ultra 2. I think that's one of the downfalls that I do see when I use Apple Watch outside in the sun. It's very hard to really see what's going on there. So I think if you get that extra bit of brightness, it might make things a little bit better for me.
Right.
And lastly, I don't want to, say what everybody else is saying. The idea of titanium. I initially thought it was great, but I'm gonna be very specific, and I'm gonna say I love the natural titanium color itself. I think it's very unique, and I love that raw look to it. Which is something that I really, really anticipated in the new upcoming phones, and we got it. So I'm very, very excited to get those in stock, and can't wait to pop my SIM in one because I can.
So what about the camera? You don't feel like?
Well, the thing is, because I'm gonna be unable to. First of all, I'm not a professional, I guess, videographer when it comes to like iPhones and stuff like that. And also, I think the spatial video option is definitely magnificent if you ask me, but unfortunately I won't be able to utilize that anytime soon, right? Firstly, yes, the Apple Vision Pro will be coming out in the beginning of next year, but good luck getting your hands on one, especially in Canada. So I don't think I'm going to be able to see that for another year or so. But that's that. Some notable options. Obviously, the action button I think was cool. The reverse charging at faster speeds I think will be beneficial, especially traveling as well. I think that's pretty much it.
Not to go off topic,
Yeah.
but when we're traveling, and we can have a separate conversation on this, there's a lot of talk on how one universal cable will now charge everything. But when I travel, let's say I had USB C now for iPhone, Samsung, the camera, everything, I still travel with 4 cables. They'll all be Type-C. I still have like a few bricks, or at least 2. Apple has one that offers like...
It depends what style of traveling you do. Are you a minimalist
right.
traveler, or are you like a fancy luxury traveler?
No, it's not just about that. It's not about my phones. I'm traveling with my wife. It's her phone. Then it's our camera. I don't want to queue my devices to say, hey, now let this one charge, let the other one charge. So I'll still have a lot of cables.
Yeah.
It's just that if I forget one...
Well, now you don't have to look through them. You just pick one. That's going to be...
There you go. There's that.
Less mental power. Another thing that we didn't speak about too much, which I think is definitely important to mention, is roadside assistance is now going to be available using satellites on
free
your phone.
for 2 years.
Free for 2 years. But the fact that you have that option available is a game changer.
Right.
We had some cool features with the Apple Watch announced with regards to safety and any of those concerns. Now roadside assistance in the middle of nowhere, that's amazing. That's when Apple is stepping up their game and using technology that is available to the next level.
I also want to share something with you guys. Apple is very quietly introducing One. Have you heard of Apple Just One?
Sounds like humane.
No, not exactly. So what they're doing
the humane
is right
competitor.
now, we have Apple Care, Apple Music, we have Arcade.
Oh, okay.
We have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And we're paying separately for everything.
Yes. So it's like an all-in-one package?
When I was running low on storage and I upgraded to the 2 terabyte, there was an option. Hey, you're paying like $12 for this, and like Apple Music is another $12. You'll be paying $23.98 for these 2. Instead, get everything like Arcade, name it, everything that Apple offers as a bundle for $36.
Good.
So now they're upselling you on
everything.
Nice.
So I think which is a smart move. I think most people will probably benefit in that.
Right.
Yeah. That's that. Guys, shall we begin with some trivia?
Sure.
And this trivia is going to be my favorite type of trivia, because you know what this trivia is? It's going to be Name That Sound, folks.
Oh.
It's going to be Name That Sound, folks. Let's play that game.
Let's go.
All right. I hope I'm not popping your eardrums, folks.
I'm okay. Samir's just getting old.
Now,
I'm just getting old.
I'll be honest with you. The last time we played this game, I did a horrific job. There's a bunch of them that were just like no-brainers after I heard them, but then I'm like, damn, did Samir just beat me? Samir just beat me, but he also beat you.
Yeah. There's no old tech today.
Oh,
I made it fair.
We'll see what's gonna happen then now.
That's what I was going to say. Last 2 times, Samir's like beating everyone, and there's a big smile on his face. So if he wins today, focus the camera on Samir for
so the rules of the game for today's podcast is the loser will have to tap dance in front of the camera. And Samir's a professional tap dancer.
All right.
Give me my action button.
With his fingers.
Yeah, we do it like this.
Can you increase the volume on the sounds before you play them? Just because I'm...
Sure.
Yeah. I don't have it played right now, but I'm going to adjust the volume. You guys let me know if it's too loud or too...
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Pop-Tarts toaster paste.
Don't mind the ad.
That's for Pop-Tarts, I think.
Saving that other one for later?
Saving that another one later.
Just pre-gaming.
Nice.
I hate when you can't skip ads, man.
Oh,
Crazy good.
It's the worst. Okay.
okay. What do we got? Yeah, I know that one.
I'll play it one more time.
One more time.
Okay, one more time. The last time. All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Michael, what you got?
I got old power switch off for iPhone.
Okay.
I got unlock iPhone.
Okay. What'd you get?
Yeah, that could have been it. No, that could be the exact same sound.
What's it? Mouse click? No, it was the unlock iPhone.
Yes.
So,
I'm pretty sure this is the exact same sound.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So Michael and
gotta point
Omar
this out.
got it
Okay.
correct.
Because I remember you could do that, or you could do that, but it was the old sound, and they made the exact or. Remember when you turn it off, it does that as well. All right, just making sure.
All right, next sound.
Are you keeping score? Who's keeping score today?
So yeah, someone has to keep score.
Omar does a very organized job at it, so I'm gonna let him do it.
All right, let me know when you guys are ready for the next sound.
I'm ready.
All right, this one's a little bit of a new school one. I don't know if you guys are gonna get this. but-
Okay.
Wait, give me 1 sec.
Ooh. Is that it?
Yeah. I'll play it one more time.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the noise. That's
Just the snapping
that's
noise?
that. Yeah.
One more time, because there was a noise that played after that. What was that?
I can play the whole thing, but that's like the startup noise. But okay.
Okay.
I'll play the whole thing.
Okay. Can we get a clue here? Is it gaming?
It's gaming related.
Okay.
It's gaming related.
I'm gonna take a guess here.
We do have them in the store. I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Michael, you go first.
I'm gonna say Steam Deck.
Okay. Omar.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
What did you say?
PS5.
PS5.
Okay. You got to be more specific, Omar. You're correct on the Nintendo, but which Nintendo device?
Switch or Wii, either or. Switch.
It's Switch. Okay. I'll give it to
Damn, it's a
Omar.
Switch?
Switch. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Man, this guy guessed. He didn't know shit. Oh, man. The gaming ones. Are we back with gaming ones? Samir's always going to say
that
PS5.
that was the only that was the only gaming one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. This one's a little bit of an older one, but
Okay.
it's a little bit hard, but let's
Okay.
see.
Let's do it.
see. Another ad that you can't skip.
Yeah, I'd say put the volume down on those,
Yeah.
cases like that. And we could just simply discuss how much we hate advertisements on YouTube. The fact that you have to go skip twice on 15-second commercials. I'm like, what am I watching TV now?
Next time
What am I watching cable TV? I'm over this.
we should sign to a premium account, so for next time we don't have this issue. But
I agree.
yeah, all right,
I
the sound's ready, guys.
All right.
Oh, I know this.
I know this too, man. Is this old, you said?
Yeah, it's it's pretty old. It's definitely before I was born, I think. Like 2000s, probably early 2000s.
Samir's got it too. No, I don't. No, damn it.
Do that again.
All right. Honestly, I don't know which era this is, but it's
I
a whole.
I think I know what it is.
2001, 2002, 19.
Is it a specific brand? I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but
Damn. You can say it's a specific brand. It's just like early 1990s all the way up to.
I'll play it one more time.
Like this is a no-brainer.
All right, Omar, you want to go first on that then?
Sure, it's the Nokia message tone on the candy bar phones.
Okay.
I said timer stopwatch.
Timer, stopwatch, and pops.
It sounded like my microwave when I was like 9.
What you get? Pager. Okay. Omar was correct on that one.
Freaking Omar and his old phone.
Damn, nothing.
That definitely sounds
I
like
don't
a
know
microwave.
how he got that. That was like a hard ass one, bro.
Bro, that was definitely a microwave sound too, man. That could easily be a microwave. Yeah, it's like
This one, if you-
you know when it's done, but it's like sitting there for 2 minutes and it's just like letting you know, like beep beep, hey, it's done. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know the next one, you guys should not even be talking about any electronic device. This one is the easiest one I've done. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let me play it. Do you guys have an idea? All right.
I guess.
All right. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
All right.
MacBook startup.
All right.
That's what I said. Apple MacBook.
MacBook startup. Omar
what I
said MacBook startup. Okay, everyone got it correct.
He didn't say startup.
Yeah. You didn't say startup.
Doesn't matter. That's what it is.
He's getting so offended. He's like, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I got 1 point.
Bro, I expect you to state exactly what it is.
Yeah, start up.
It's not a MacBook. A MacBook makes many sounds.
Yeah.
What exact sound is it,
You
man?
should get a half point for that.
Yeah, half point.
I'll round it to a point.
Get your business up and running.
All right, I'm waiting for this.
Did you give me a 0 there, Bo? What is that?
Yeah, I did.
Why'd you give me a 0?
Why not?
I need a 1 there.
Oh,
Bo.
sorry. You're right.
He's like, I'm so consistent at winning, and they're so consistent at losing that.
I'm at a
Yeah,
1
I'm
too.
watching.
I got that one too.
Samir always gets it wrong,
Since this next
even
one,
if he's right.
since this next one is a little bit harder, I will give you a hint. This we do have in the store as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Just give it a moment. This one's a little bit of a slow startup, but
Clueless to that one.
we have it in the store. We sell it.
Yeah, your website doesn't update as often in the last week, so okay. Do I play it again?
I'll play it one more time. Yeah. The startup is a little bit. It takes a little bit of time. Just give it a sec.
We sell it in the store?
Yep. You sell it in the store. I think Michael knows exactly what it is. By the smile on his face, I think he knows.
I sure do, folks.
Okay, let's just go.
All right,
All right.
Michael, go first.
I'll go first.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
All right.
All right.
Just say PS5. We're good to go. Trust me, it's PS5.
Is it?
Could be.
It's
We do have it in store, so it's very possible.
yeah.
PS5.
Okay.
All right.
You go first.
PS5.
Okay, PS5. Okay, I'll go next. DJI drone.
I got DJI.
Oh my! He cheated.
I didn't.
He cheated. He looked at the reflection of my eyes and saw what I
Oh
wrote.
my God, Mike.
All right. I'll give it to him.
Damn, I should have known that.
Yeah, it was DJI drone. You keep on saying PS5, bro. It's not going to be PS5.
Everything is a PS5 for this.
To be
guy.
specific, DJI is the correct answer, but to be specific, it's the DJI Mavic Air 2 startup.
No, it's actually the DJI Phantom 4. It's Mavic Air 2. It's the Mavic Pro, and it's anything prior to the 2S, the Mavic 3.
Yeah.
I
you're
know my
correct.
shit, bro.
Yeah, you know your shit. You're correct
Yeah.
on that. Okay.
PS5.
So Mike got it right. I got it right. Samir got it wrong. Samir.
Okay.
All right. Next one.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I know this.
That's all you guys get.
Done.
I know that sound. I'm just trying to remember where I know it from. Give me a moment here.
How many are there today? 10?
They're 10. Yeah, 10 total.
So I've got you guys down for. This is the sixth one.
I know I hear the sound, but
Every
my phone is always on silent, so I don't hear sounds at all anymore.
I'll play it one more time for you,
Sure,
Michael. just so
sure.
you-
I just have to visually Okay, this makes me feel like this sound only comes on if the application is open. Because if it's closed, you're not going to hear it. Am I right?
I don't know.
I have a feeling that's the vision I'm getting.
Go
You
for
have
it.
to hear that sound only when it's open.
Yeah, personally, I don't know if that's the case. I couldn't tell you.
My phone's on silent.
I think
as
I know
well.
what it is actually. That makes complete sense.
All right.
I think, yeah.
All right, I think Omar is ready, so I'll go with Omar first.
Just WhatsApp notification when your phone is open.
Okay.
That's what I got too.
WhatsApp
Yeah,
notification.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
So I was right.
Yeah,
It
everyone-
has, it has to be open, right?
Everyone is correct. WhatsApp notification.
Mama's always getting it.
Mic one.
Yeah. That's why I searched it up. I was like, WhatsApp notification.
Fresh air, fresh air.
What?
Fresh air. She's one of the girls who works.
Okay.
Oh wait.
What?
Is that it?
Yeah. Wait.
I didn't know what the hell that was.
Okay. This one, yeah, it's a little bit harder, but we have used it more since the past 3 years. That's the hint I'll give you.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a ringtone as well, just to let you know. I'll play it one more time.
It's a ringtone?
It's a ringtone, but it's not from a phone.
Okay, that's where I wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
We have used it more often.
Often in the past 3 years.
And we still use it till this day, you're saying?
Yeah. Well, we don't. I've not used it in a while, but yeah, like a lot of companies still use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
So we actually as a store
Schools and companies use it. Yeah, we as a store don't use it.
Great.
That's a tough one because in the past 3 years, so it's a new piece of technology that's become prevalent in the past 3 years.
If I say this one thing, it'll give it away, so I'm not going to say it, but it's very similar to something that we've already seen.
I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime, my friend. It's something you've seen before. Very similar.
Does it have anything to do with collaboration?
Collaboration meaning what?
Getting together?
Yes, you can get together technically on it. You can, yes.
Sure. It's a wild guess.
All right, who's going to go first?
Mike. That's WhatsApp when it's closed.
Okay, I'm going to take a guess on
All right.
it. I don't know. Discord.
Discord, okay. That's a good shot. Omar, what you got?
You're closer to it than I am. Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams, okay. Zoom. Okay, my dad was correct with Zoom.
I was gonna say
Ooh, he got one. Wow.
you got 3.
All right. Zoom, eh?
Because you said schools.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was just thinking when you said that the idea of getting together, I'm like, Discord became fairly popular in the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess so has Zoom. That makes a lot of sense. And we do use it, my friend.
Oh, we do? Okay, I didn't know that.
I have it in my Tesla, but I don't really use it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you showed us camera the other day.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next one?
All right, the next one. This one's a little bit harder. Let's see. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely heard that before. Can we play that one more time? Man, that's a tough one. Can you give us a little tiny clue or no?
It has something to do with computers.
Okay.
I'm taking a guess, but okay, I'm ready.
Computers. PS5.
PS5.
PS5. Default answer, PS5.
You know
If I do you want one more clue?
I'm not sure. I'm
okay,
just guessing.
one more clue.
Okay, it's an operating system.
I think that gives it away then. Pretty sure it does.
All right, who's ready to go first?
Mike.
I'll go.
Mike, all right.
Microsoft Windows.
Okay, which one though?
I'm going to say it's going to be 10 or 11.
Yeah, this one you have to be on the exact one
Okay.
because 10 and 11 are completely different sounds.
Okay, you know what? Because I'm going to...
What is Windows' latest one?
Okay.
11 is their latest one.
I'm gonna say 11. I'm gonna gamble on this one. You?
Yeah, it's Windows on Surface 11.
Okay.
Like on the
Windows. What you got? Windows 11 as well. All right. Everyone was correct with Windows 11.
Okay, so you gave the answer before we saw their answers. You told them that it was Windows 11. So first, you want to hear everybody's responses, and then.
But you wrote down Windows, so I just didn't want you to
okay.
mess up.
All right, but he gave.
But we already had Windows. We just didn't.
I had Windows
Yeah,
already.
you have to be specific.
I knew it was Windows, and I had a feeling it was the latest one because I recently did hear it. But that's a good one. Okay.
All right, next one.
2 to go.
Are you perfect?
No, I got one wrong.
Okay.
One's wrong.
Samir got it right. Zoom.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Oh.
I hear that every day from somebody's account.
I don't use this.
I think, yeah. If you work at Flipaforum, you probably know what the sound is.
I got to thank you know who.
All right, Omar, go.
FaceTime?
Okay.
Good guess. What you
FB
get?
Messenger notification.
Facebook calling.
It's Facebook calling, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you both got it. Facebook.
No, he got Messenger. That can be notifications, and you got the Facebook calling, bro.
It is the calling ringtone.
That's what I meant.
Does Samir get it or not?
Man, you
Okay,
don't get it,
0.
bro. You don't get
I
it.
got it.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
You said Facebook Messenger. You got to say calling, bro.
Nope.
That's what I
It's the
meant.
Facebook ringtone call. That's
that's
what
what
it
I meant.
is.
Yeah, I'll give you 0.25 of a
Give him a
point.
half a point. Give him a half a point.
Bro.
Half
Give
a
him
point.
half a point. Yeah.
Half a point. Because you didn't get it exactly.
Bro, you're not going to win anyways.
Yeah, you're
Just
not winning.
accept 0.5. Give me a chance here.
All right, and this is the last one, guys.
I don't even think I have a chance either. But let's try. Let's give it a try. All right.
All right, you guys ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I'll play it one more time.
Yeah. I know that.
Okay, done.
1 second.
It's a very familiar sound, yeah. You should know this sound.
I just forgot from where.
Yeah. Yeah. that's the hard part.
It is okay. I won't say it. I'll say it later.
Yeah, I can't say anything because it's going to give it away.
It's a giveaway.
Ah.
Can I say or?
So Omar's ready. No, you can't say or. It's only one answer.
All right. I'm
All
ready.
right. Omar, go first because he said he was ready.
Okay,
Omar,
so
go
it's
first.
it's one of the ringtones that Apple has. It's usually used to send an email when an email is sent out. That's
Okay.
the notification.
Email sent notification.
Okay.
That's what I said specifically.
That's what I said right here.
Yeah, you were wrong on text. It was the email.
I was
sent.
going to say email.
Yeah, no, but it was the email sent notification. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah.
It's okay. You have half a point to support
Email
you.
sent.
Okay, so Mike has 3, 4, 5, 7.
I have 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I did pretty good. I did 70%. Better than I did in high school.
Passing grade.
I got this many, and surprise, surprise, Samir got. Oh, he got
3.5.
no. He's got more than that. So Mike, you got 7. I got 8, and Samir got 4.5.
You got more than that. All right, guys. That was a lot of fun. And, it's unfortunate that Samir didn't go 2 for 2. Or no.
Yeah,
Did
he's gonna send Akshay an
Sorry,
email.
not 2 for 2.
Later.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Samir, let's see the tap dance. Let's see the tap dance. Get on the table. Let's do a tap dance, bro. Come on. All right. I think we'll save that for the next episode, folks. And again, it is always a pleasure to do an episode with you guys. And today was very, very exciting as we got to unveil some really exciting stuff. And also, if you guys are new to this channel, we would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe and help grow our channel. We are, a bit struggling here, folks. We need your help.
Yeah.
Please like our content.
Help us.
Comment. And obviously, we try to provide as much value as you can. So we We genuinely would appreciate it, that you would appreciate us if you genuinely appreciate us, if you know what I'm talking about, okay? And also, if you guys are, into buying gadgets and cool phones and MacBooks, don't forget to go check out our website. It's www.flipaphone.com. That's Flipafone. Stay tuned. We will have the brand new iPhone 15 lineup and Apple Watch series in stores in the next couple of weeks, and we promise you we will have the best prices. We take care of all of our clients, and one more thing. And that's it, folks. Let's call it a day.